Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out here to Griffin Stadium, your Moorpark College, home of your Moorpark Raiders.
These guys done a really good job dealing with the COVID, dealing with the paperwork, dealing with all the testing, and actually getting through a full spring season and then ending out here with almost 45 guys. We didn't really lose anyone. So I think their mindsets are pretty good right now going into the summer. First time a lot of these guys ever put on a Moorpark helmet. First time a lot of these guys actually took someone down to the floor. I should say in the spring they did wear some of their equipment, but there was nothing live. So this is the first day of actually going full equipment and live. The quarterback was live as well, so that was definitely a difference for them too. All the junior colleges weren't allowed to play this season, so this was sort of like our event we got to do in the spring. And our fall will be a normal 10-game season, and obviously if we win 5 games, you qualify for a bowl game as well, so it should be a full season. COVID definitely was a big factor. I mean, these guys, including coaches, have to get tested twice a week. So that alone, if they don't get the results in by 1 o'clock, by the day we show up, they can't participate, they can't be there. So there'll be some days we had 50 guys and some guys would have 20 guys. So as a staff, we had to adapt pretty much every practice based off who we had that day because of the COVID results. That was probably the biggest, hardest thing that I had to go through in the spring, was just getting the guys out there. As you saw today, some kids didn't know what they were doing, they were jumping off sides, they didn't know the counts. That just really comes down to just making sure they knew it going into it. So we weren't obviously game ready at this point. The biggest reason is just because we've been going for 2 months, but they haven't been consistently going for 2 months because of all the times they had to be held out because of the COVID testing. So hoping this summer, I know a lot of people have now got vaccinated and they're talking about removing the masks and not having to do COVID tests for the players that did that. So hopefully it makes our job as easier as coaches if they do that, so we don't have to worry about the testing anymore. Our expectations, we're in a new division right now. So the new division is the American Conference. The competition, in my opinion, is not as high as in the past, so which might be good for us right now just because we are such a young team and we're rebuilding. So my expectations now in this new league is to go out and win the league. I have no question in my mind that we can't do that. You know, playing teams like Pierce, Valley, Santa Barbara, and Santa Monica. We had about 50 recruits come out today, so you can just see that we're really throwing more high school kids into the mix. But high school kids, young people at 18, 19 coming into a college program, it is a lot to learn in the 3 months that we get them. So my expectation is really based off how much we can teach these guys in the time frame since once they get here in July till when we start pretty much the first week of September. So it might not look as smooth in the beginning, but our conference doesn't start till week 6, so I want to make sure we're moving in all cylinders when it comes after the bye week and we go into our conference play to really feel like what I feel we can come out and win our American Conference division this year.
I mean, the biggest thing you want anytime you're coming out of a spring game for football is no injuries, keeping everybody safe and healthy and getting ready for summer and really when it matters going into the fall. So to have the opportunity, for our student athletes to be out here and compete in something like this is something special too. I mean, it's been for them, it's been over a year since they've had a real game-like situation. And so to give them a little taste of what's coming in the fall, I think is really nice for them to have, especially at the end of the semester like this. I definitely think sports bring people together, especially in the community, at the community college level even more. You know, it's an opportunity for so many individuals from the community to play and to have this, the 2-year school is a great way to transfer on and maybe an opportunity for some people that didn't have it. What I do think is I love the way our team competes. I think that we have a lot of strong individuals out there that really kind of went out and showed what they could do today, and they showed that they've been putting in a lot of work. And I think that's the biggest key to what we did today, is having them to have the opportunity to show that they've been working hard, show their coaches what they've been doing. And then when it comes to, in the fall, it's just my personal belief that if we handle what we need to do, we'll be just fine on Saturdays. It's definitely gotten better. The fact that, they've all gone through something pretty challenging together. And I think anytime you do that, you become closer as a team. And they've had to do a lot. The amount of testing they've had, the protocols they've had to go through. They've had setbacks. that they've had to work through together. And I think having all of those, it's unfortunate when it happens, but the fact that it did has really, allowed them to bond and come together and kind of get through some stuff with their team. It's one of the reasons, it's a big part of, why I wanted to come here was, Moorpark is a great college, great facilities, great people. They have great coaches. I think incredibly highly of Mike and how he runs the program. And, to get it back and to see it happen today was, I would be lying if I said, if I told you I was not excited at the beginning of the day today. And being out here and seeing it kind of all come together was exciting. I don't know if you can really put into words how important it was. Oh, we're back. I mean, I don't know how else what else you need to be excited about.
I feel like it went fantastic, We haven't had pads in about a year and a half, give or take, and been on the field doing field competition. So being out here to be able to, compete with our guys and have fans out here and have the energy, it was an amazing feeling, an amazing thing to have back. I feel like our team energy this year is a lot better than it was a year and a half ago, or you could say 2 years ago. I feel like this group here, doing with the whole pre-COVID stuff, is been a lot more unified and more of a bond than I would say the last team I was here playing football. I would say we're like more of a brotherhood here, and we're taking more of accountability, and we all want to win, and we all want to get better every day. I would say when COVID first hit, I kind of just took like a mental recovery state, kind of just trying to find out what I wanted to do. Without football, I don't know what I would be doing. Like I'm a good student, but at the end of the day, like having that, opportunity to come out here with the boys and work out and run on the field and hit somebody and just kind of like get away from the outside world, it made everything, feel relieving, felt normal. Felt like nothing else mattered in the world besides being inside these lines, So we had to do Zoom calls for workouts, and we had to do like Zoom meetings and everything. And even now, where it's like, okay, we still can't be in the building to watch film. It's like that's still a headache. We got to be outside, and like you see how we are now, we're outside, changing outside in our pads. So instead of being in our locker room, and it's like it's still a headache. So it's like just want to go back to how it used to be. It is what it is. You got to keep moving on with life. Life's gonna throw you punches. You got to either take them or admit to defeat. I feel like next season we're gonna go with I feel like for us as the Moorpark team, I feel like we have a very explosive team. Honestly, I would say, in my opinion, for UCO State, this would probably be the most competitive fall season for UCO because you have a lot of guys who are in high school who didn't get the offers of going Pac-12 or SEC or whatever. So, it's going to be a very competitive state for UCO, and I feel like it's going to bring different life out here, just in general. At the end of the day, I feel like even for Moorpark ourselves, we're kind of like ahead of the game about like all the other UCOs. We've had 4 months of a spring practice to where some guys have only had 2 months and they're done, and 2 weeks and they're done, or whatever the case may have been, where we've had full 4 months to have pads, weights, and everything else in development. So I feel like for this group of guys out here, we have the option and the upper hand to go as far as we want to, as long as we put our heads to it.
Family on me! Family on three! 1, 2, 3! Family!